My attention was again on, I need to find my husband and the kids in the waiting room. And I started to think about continuing in the direction I had been going in. And it was as if I didn't have any volition over where I was moving any longer. And I felt as though I was being pulled up, literally upward, and up through the ceiling of the hallway that I was in, and through that ceiling to the next floor, and then through another floor. And so it's like I was on a tractor beam. If you've seen, movies where they have a tractor beam that pulls a ship and stuff. I was being pulled like that right out through the roof of the hospital. And once I was out through the roof of the hospital, then the direction I was being pulled became lateral, and I was being pulled over the city of Anchorage, which is where the hospital was located, and up high, about as high as like a small plane might be. And I was really moving fast. And I was thinking to myself, I should feel a difference in the air temperature. I should feel wind going by. I should be feeling these things, but I didn't feel any of that. When I got to what was the edge of where Anchorage sits on the bay, instead of going out over water, a whole like dark cave-like tunnel opened up, and I was sucked inside that.
I sort of flipped kind of over, and I was looking at myself down on the operating table, and I saw them doing some things to me on there, and I was trying to tell them, don't save me. And I was doing just like this. I was like, don't save me. I don't want to go back there. I'm quite fine here. And I kept trying to tell them. I got really frustrated. I remember getting really frustrated because I didn't want to come back. And after, I don't know, a little while after doing that, I started getting sucked back. Like I had this tractor beam, for lack of a better word. This tractor beam had me in its sights, and it was sucking me back. And I got sucked into one of the electrical outlets in the operating room. I went right into one of those two prongs where you put a plug in. I went right through that plug. And when that happened, bam, I went through this wormhole. It looked like a wormhole you might see on like that movie Contact, where she's going right when that ball drops through those spinning things. That's when I went through almost the same thing, but it was faster.
Floating in the sky or in whatever realm, like I can't say that I feel like I remember clouds, but who knows for sure. It was just this utter cocoon of peace, and this being was there with me and like almost pulling me up with it.
This energy seemed to pull me faster through the river of light. There again, it's not something you see. It's this feeling, this experience, trying to piece it together when you get back.
And as soon as I accepted that I was going back and that eternity did exist, I was like sucked. Like it was like sucked backwards in a tunnel back into my body.
It's almost like a feeling that came to me and said, well, you're no longer on Earth. It was kind of a feeling. And I thought, if I'm not on Earth, then where am I? And as I had these questions inside of me, I started feeling a pulling. It's almost like something started pulling or tugging at me and taking me somewhere, but it was more my soul.
Instantly, I'm just sucked up, just like a vacuum, into outer space. I'm just sucked out of there. And I mean, I was going so fast that you felt like if you had skin, your skin would peel off. You're going so fast through this tunnel.
And then feeling on the right side of me an angel, but I didn't get to see it. It was such a strong presence that it was like I couldn't look upon it with my eyes, but feeling it and feeling it pull me into a tunnel.
And I felt that gravitational pull again. And they say, you know, go towards the light, whatever. Well, I didn't have a choice. I was being pulled towards the light. And I could feel myself being pulled and pulled closer to the light. And as I got closer to the light, or to God, that incredible, intense love just kept building and building.
And then I looked over to my left and there was a little white dot of light. And it wanted me, everything was through feeling. All the communication was through feeling. And I felt it wanted me to come to it. And I felt I wanted to go. So I started to move that way. And as I got closer, the little light became wider and wider and wider. And I could see, and it was sort of a smoky gray, mostly white opening. And there were shadow beings. There were these darker gray humanoid kind of beings. And in the front was a little boy, and he needed my help. So I went into the space and they sort of fanned out to my left, and I went deep into that space. And then I looked around for the little boy and he wasn't there. And then I felt all of these beings needed my help. And I wanted to help them. I felt back, I want to help you. And then they started to come at me one by one, sort of dart and dart away. And they were taking my energy.